stop looking at a deteriorating world and saying to this generation, you can't be righteous because things are so evil. Because where sin abounds, there does grace that much more abound. See, you might not be able to understand how you could live holy in these unholy times. That's because you didn't have the grace for these times. But for this generation, God has measured out enough grace for them to be righteous regardless of what's going on in the world around them. Church, I've had a blessed opportunity so far this year, and it will continue. I've had an opportunity to travel across this country and around this world. And everywhere I've gone, there have been young people there who are living righteous lives. When I went out to California, there were young men and women who were determined to live righteous lives. Some of them used to be in gangs and out on the street corner, but now they were praising God with tears in their eyes and working their ministry. When I went to the deep south, I found young men and women who were living virtuous and holy lives. They were excited that their pastor told them, you can't live together any longer. You got to clean up your life. You got to be holy. You got to be righteous. And they were coming up to me, Bishop, we're living holy. We're living righteous. We've cleaned up our lives. When I went to Italy, I found young men and young women in their teens and in their 20s with tears in their eyes as they lifted up holy hands to God and proclaimed that they were going to live righteous and holy lives before Him. When I went to Ethiopia and went down a road that wasn't a road, down streets that with houses that were made of mud and straw, roofs of tin, and turned up into a church that didn't have running water on the inside. When I got in there, I found young men strong in the Lord and in the power of His might who were able to boldly proclaim that Jesus is Lord. They weren't going to get caught up in drugs and in alcohol and in promiscuity. They were clean and cleaned up their life and glorifying God with their life. Church, you got to stop looking at what's going on in the world and expecting that nobody can live a holy life anymore. There's a generation in here. Come on, clap with me if you're in that generation. There's a generation in here. They want you to know they have the grace. The grace of God has been bestowed upon them, and while sin may be abounding, grace is that much more abounding down on the inside of them. They don't feel weak. They ain't struggling. They don't feel like they're going to fall the next day. They are strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. They just need a church that recognizes that they can do this, but they need all of us.